Okay, so a lot to get through in the sports pages this morning. First of all, on the back of the Irish Independent, the big story, clubs told stand up and fight. Club Players Association threatens strike action as anger grows with the GAA's top brass over fixture crisis. This is from Michael Verney saying that the Club Players Association could take the nuclear option and propose strike action over what they perceive as continued inaction from the GAA's top brass in their efforts to solve the current fixture crisis. Also there in the bottom left corner, you can see a little bit of a scoop from Cian and from Rory O'Connor as well, one of his colleagues in the Irish Independent. Earls set to miss Munster semi. Keith Earls is expected to be ruled out of the Champions Cup semi-final against Saracens tomorrow. He's been struggling with a thigh injury, missed the last couple of games, and although it appeared that he trained fully earlier in the week, it looks now like when the team is named at around 12 o'clock, he is not going to be in it. Also as well, Waterford in limbo as Euro denial prompts owner exit fear. So the future of Waterford FC is very much up in the air at the moment after the FAI confirmed last night they would not be part of the Irish representatives in the Europa League for next season. That's after they hadn't been in existence for 3 years, so they wouldn't be eligible to play. What's in the Examiner, Cian?
The Examiner lead with Ronan O'Gara's column. Tomorrow is possibly the most Munster of scenarios, a dangerous underdog. It's a very good column actually, Ronan O'Gara going through the potential pitfalls for Munster. On top they have fond farewell, retiring best, wants to finish career with World Cup glory, and I suppose that's been a theme throughout the papers this morning. Lots of nice tributes to the Ireland captain who confirmed yesterday that he's going to finish all rugby. I think it was probably expected, but now we have the confirmed news. Just other couple of bits and pieces. Safe passage, Arsenal and Chelsea booked semi-final tickets. Final four at Cruyff Derby would be the fairy tale Champions League climax. That would be pretty cool, I think. Road to recovery.
That was one actually, I'd kind of forgotten about that over the last few days. That kind of just passed me by, the notion of Barca against Ajax in the Champions League final, Cruyff Derby. That'd be pretty special. Oh yeah, all the Premier League fans are Liverpool and Spurs would certainly wouldn't be happy, but yeah, it'd be, in fairness, the two semi-finals should be class if the quarter-finals are anything to go by. Couple of other bits here. Road to recovery. Richie McCarthy vows Limerick career won't end like this, and Paul Rouse, the athletics club that shaped life in the Midlands. Okay, on the back are the sports section of the Irish Times today. Emotional best to end his career after the World Cup. It's Rory Best's announcement yesterday and confirmation that he will retire fully from rugby after the World Cup in Japan this year. And class outfit Toulouse will be great challenge. That's what Luke McGrath says. Jerry Thornley is writing there ahead of Leinster against Toulouse on Sunday. And also there on the far side, Folau case could turn on point of New South Wales law. So Israel Folau's potential challenge to his sacking could turn on whether his conduct occurred in New South Wales, a legal expert has said. We had Jack Anderson on the show earlier in the week, I believe, to talk a little bit about that. And it looks like something that could carry on for a little while yet. Yeah, the Irish Daily Mail lead with in flying form. Delaney enjoys Germany trip as crisis deepens. I don't know if you saw the picture that was doing the rounds of John Delaney over, I think it was in Frankfurt. Yeah. Sitting down having a meal. It's in relation to that. Philip Just
Quinn,
hold it up there towards the camera.
Philip Quinn is writing that John Delaney may be on gardening leave, but that didn't stop him being a guest with the Leinster Football Association. So, the saga rumbles on, I suppose. And I see in another story today that his credit card was stopped as well for the FAI. So, yeah, it rumbles on. London calling, Arsenal and Chelsea reach semis. And then Philip Lanigan is writing about the club furore as well. Furious club players threaten revolt against GAA. Okay, on the back of the Irish Daily Mirror, Poch, this is our destiny. Fate and hard work can take us to Euro glory. That is Mauricio Pochettino saying there's a sense of destiny driving Spurs' Champions League ambitions this season. And a few screen grabs also as well of, I don't know, did you see the video doing the rounds yesterday of Pochettino's celebrations after the game? Wasn't it? Giving it the big balls, celebration. So yeah, Pochettino going crazy in the Spurs dressing room after the win. He was talking about just how much of a roller coaster of emotion that last minute or so was when, we all saw the video of Pep Guardiola doing the rounds where he thought they were through to the last four, and then
VAR pulls it back, and likewise then Pochettino was probably going through similar things, just at opposite times.
It was a montage maker's dream, really, wasn't it? There were so many different clips. I mean, I don't know, did you see the one about the City fan? He left just after the goal, so he didn't know that the VAR. So like, it was absolutely brilliant. Like, you know, you can't make this stuff up. The Irish Daily Star, Pot Just Go, similar team there to what you had, Neil. Alexander the Great, in reference to Lacazette last night, putting Arsenal through. And Carlo Kane is also writing about the player's body slams GAA, so pretty similar messages there in the Irish Daily Star.
Yeah, and just a couple more to get through quickly here. This is in the Irish Sun this morning. Napoli 0, Arsenal 1. Good lack, bad luck. Unai Joy marred by Rambo blow. That's after Arsenal went through to the Europa League semi-finals, where they're going to take on Valencia now. Alex Lacazette's brilliant free kick is what saw them over the line yesterday. It was 3-0 on aggregate in the end after a 1-0 win in Naples. Lacazette's free kick. The bad luck though, Aaron Ramsey went off what looked like a hamstring injury. So who knows? It looked like a small tweak, but you'd never know. We might well have seen the last of Aaron Ramsey in an Arsenal shirt. Hopefully not though. Be good to see him get a couple of games towards the end of the season. And also a small little piece there on the left-hand side, which we'll probably ask Daniel Harris about when we have him on the line later on. Ollie's rage, this is an exclusive by Neil Custis. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tore into Manchester United's flops after their Barcelona humiliation, accusing them of not giving 100%. It seems like Solskjaer the ink is barely dry on the contract, and the complications of being the permanent manager rather than the substitute teacher are starting to creep in. Yeah. And just, you have one more there?
The Herald here, Klopp, forget about Messi. Pretty much easier said than done, really. I would suggest, I think Klopp is saying that the focus is going to be on the next 2 Premier League games, which again, it's going to be tough not to have one eye on Barcelona.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's very tough.
Yeah. Aidan Fitzmaurice here writing as well about Delaney not on FAI business, which is obviously in relation to the story we just talked about. And Richard Dunn, Pep now has mental block over Europe, which is been a very interesting talking point, I suppose, after the game during the week.
And also finally then as well, Canaries are close. This is on the back of the racing sport. Canaries are so close, but return to the big time. May have to wait for Norwich. That's Norwich. If they win tonight against Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship, they could get promoted tomorrow automatically. That is if Sheffield United lose in their kick-off against Nottingham Forest. And also Spurs 20-21 to secure a final place. That is just a short little story about how Spurs are narrow favourites early on ahead of the Champions League semi-final with Ajax. We do have a couple of back pages from the UK papers. This is on the back of is this The Guardian, Tommy? This is the back of The Guardian. Pochettino's great escape. Spurs manager feared massive emotional toll of City defeat. And a picture there as well just of Pedro scoring for Chelsea yesterday as they wrapped up their Europa League semi-final place. A similar picture of Pedro as well on the back page of the Telegraph. My eyesight is not great at the moment. Should have brought the glasses this morning, actually. Blues cruise. That's after Chelsea's 4-3 win yesterday against Slavia Prague. That sets up a semi-final against Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, a couple of stories to get to. One that we just touched on there going through the back pages, Cian. That is of Keith Earls, set to miss Munster's semi-final against Saracens tomorrow. It's not 100% confirmed, but it's more or less confirmed that Joey Carberry is going to miss. We're kind of taking that as a given.
Yeah.
It looked at the start of the week like Keith Earls was probably going to pull through. We got the impression that he trained fully on Monday. He'd sat out the last 2 games, was what we were told was just precautionary, bit of tightness in his thigh. But it appears now when the team is named at about 12 o'clock, he's not going to be in it.
Yeah,
what do you know about it?
That's the information I have. Obviously, we'll see at 12 o'clock when the team comes out. I don't think he trained fully on Monday. I think he did the warm-up and was there for the pictures, for the snappers and things. But I don't think he actually completed the full training session. And I suppose it goes, Joe Schmidt never picks players if he can't train in the early part of the week. And Keith Earls knows his body better than most people. We saw that during the Six Nations as well against England. Remember, he picked up the injury earlier on and he just wasn't the same player playing through it. But if it's confirmed, I think it's a massive loss for Munster. Like you said, already without Joey Carberry, their main attacking threat, Keith Earls has arguably been their best player this season. He's been in sensational form. We saw it against Edinburgh, how important he was in such a tight game, you know, to mix it up. There's also doubts about Jean Klein. Now, he may play, but I mean, I think he has to play as well, especially when you're going up against the Sarries pack, who you like your scrums, obviously, but you know what Sean Klein brings as the tide head packing down there behind Sean Ryan is absolutely crucial. Now, he may play, he probably will play, but I don't think he's 100% fit either. So that's big worries for Munster. Sarries,
he missed the semi-final 2 years ago.
Yeah, and
when they played Saracens.
He's been an incredible signing as well, because he's a perfect foil for Tadhg Beirne. He allows Tadhg Beirne get around and do what he wants. And when you look at Sarries are getting their players back, Munster are losing a couple of theirs. It was already a tough ask. It's become even tougher.
Who's coming in for Earls, are we expecting?
I believe Darren Sweetenham will probably start. So you'll have a back three of Darren Sweetenham, Andrew Conway and Mike Haley at fullback. Darren Sweetenham is having a very good season as well. I just think Keith Earls has been sort of out there on his own as the most outstanding Munster back three, and maybe even the most outstanding Irish back three player this year.
And Tyler Blandell, I heard a sniff of a rumour yesterday there might have been a knock going with him. I didn't hear anything more of it. You didn't hear anything, no?
No, well, I didn't, but that's not to say that's not true either.
Right, I'll put that one out. I'll throw water on that one there now for now.
Yeah, no, well, they certainly need him. Although JJ Hanrahan did play very well last week against Benetton, and actually Ron O'Gara's writing that he's almost become the forgotten man. But the stage is set for Tyler Blandell now, isn't it? He's overcome his injuries. It's probably time to deliver now on that. Yeah,
like a redemption day, I suppose, given he had a frustrating outing 2 years ago when he played against Saracens. Now, before we get Alan Quinlan on the line, we'll come back to Keith Earls in a couple of minutes. One of the stories doing the rounds on most of the back pages as well, the Club Players Association threatening strike action as, I suppose, just the frustration with the GAA over the fixture crisis continues. Some very interesting lines here from a statement that was given out yesterday. This is from the Club Players Association, issued to members yesterday afternoon. It was the chairperson Micheál Brodie and Secretary Michael Higgins who detailed the frustration with the GAA top brass at a lack of progress. We cannot say with certainty that we are being listened to at management level, but we all know players are listening, so we are now looking for action, not words. As GAA members, we already know what we are, but we also know what we could be if our leadership can find the courage, the will and the foresight to move decisively on fixtures. The proposed fixtures group, properly constituted, presents an opportunity for a real lasting legacy beyond a new manifesto published and promoted at a cost of the GAA. If our GAA is truly a place where we all belong, then we need action, not words. We stand ready, as we have been since 2017. We'll be in touch again soon to update you on the next steps, including possible escalation. It's an enormously frustrating time. I stopped playing Gaelic games when I was probably about 15 or 16, so
like myself.
Yeah, I can't really put myself into the position that club players are in, but we do have a lot of people in the office here who play hurling, play football for their clubs at home, and just the frustration non-stop. I'm always hearing the frustration of them. This club month at the moment, April, it seems some counties follow it well, give a good few games to their players. Some don't really follow it at all. And it's just that there doesn't seem to be any uniformity or continuity among any of the counties. And even if you are getting a few games in April, so be it, you might not actually end up playing another meaningful club match again for another few months.
Yeah, it seems like it's a constant saga between the players, the clubs association. I mean, Philip Lanigan is writing here, the problem for the CPA is that a players' strike may go unnoticed, as county championships look set to be delayed for months after the opening rounds are played during this month's club only window situation, which has clearly heightened a sense of frustration amongst club players. So like you said, it seems like every season, like yourself, I'm sort of outside of the GAA beat as well, but it seems like every season there's a bit of friction between them, and that the club players aren't being held. I even saw on Twitter the other day, was it Kildare, someone had played a game during the week, and this is supposed to be the club only month, so there's clearly something broken along the line there, but how it's going to be resolved is beyond me anyway. Yeah,
and even it kind of, you know, I remember last week Jerry Thornley was writing about the frustration of club teams in rugby, and I found it, there seems to be similar themes there where the best players aren't getting the the really good academy players for Munster, Leinster, Connacht and Ulster, they're not getting to play that much at all, whether it's for the Munster or Leinster A sides or anything like that, and also they're missing out then on the club action, and ultimately it's the clubs that are suffering, especially far out down the country.
Yeah, and that's the you know, the bread and butter of, you know, Irish rugby. It's the same with the GAA. You know, the club game is so important to what we do here. And yeah, like you said, the rugby situation is a weird one. They're having that, you know, the American Cup that the A teams are going over playing at the moment at an absolutely crucial time in the All Ireland League. So yeah, it's a bit, there's good parallels. They're actually similar, that the club players are the ones whose voice isn't being heard in all of this at all.